Morning.
Bryce, what would it mean to get drafted by the Houston Texans and be reunited with some of your old teammates like Christian Harris?
Yeah, obviously I love Sierras, but, for me, where I end up is something I can't control, and I'm going to give my all to whatever team it is that takes me. I'm just super excited to be here. It's my dream to play in the NFL, and to be able to be here, whatever team I end up being taken by is a blessing for me. Yeah, again, I've been this size, respectfully my whole life. I know who I am. I know what I can do. And, for me, I think it's fair. Everyone can speculate and ask whatever questions are necessary. But, I'm going to continue to control what I can control. Keep working my hardest to put myself in a good position. And I'm confident in myself. I know what I can do. And, I'm just excited to get to that next level.
What's the biggest thing for you to be surprised
again, I feel like, I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we don't get to choose. So, again, I don't know I'd be surprised either way. I'm just happy to be here, honestly. It's an honor for me to be able to be selected by whatever team it is that takes a chance on me. So, whoever it was at whatever position, I'm just happy to get that chance to the next level. I think, again, being able to be in these meetings, you're able to sit at all these different chairs and think about, playing it in all these teams because you get to hear a little bit about their system. So, again, throughout these meetings and throughout the process, you look at other people's system, get to talk to coaches and decision makers. And I think through all that, you obviously envision yourself, try to get a feel for the coaching staff. And that's what I try to do here.
What's the biggest thing you want to prove? What's the biggest thing you want to prove between now and the NFL draft?
I don't really feel like, my drive isn't necessarily to prove anything. I think for me it's to try to, explain all the things that I see to all the coaches, the GMs, all the decision makers, to express myself, talk about how I see the game, my experiences in the past, and be able to learn as well, to try to soak as much in from the process, learn from the coaches, being able to talk to some players and play in the league now. So for me, it's a big learning experience, and I'm doing my best to try to explain how I've gotten here and try to find that great fit.
In your meetings with coaches and GMs, how do you talk about your size? You mentioned that just earlier, but how do they ask and how do you answer?
I speak my truth. I make sure I explain how I play the game, how I see the game, my process, how I'm able to get through things. Obviously there's stuff in film and on the board, and it's just talking ball, X's and O's. Coaches I feel like have asked about how I've gotten to throughout plays and through reads and all that. And again, I've been around so many great football minds being in these meetings, and being able to talk about one myself and then be able to pick their brains and see how they run their offense, be able to learn from that. I think it's been a lot of back and forth, and I'm super grateful for it.
And to follow that, like schematically, what have you taken from what at Alabama, how they're asking about that? What do you see applies with some of the teams that you've been talking about?
Yeah, I feel like there's a good amount of application. With from play calls to protections to run game. I think I've been blessed to be in the system that I have that I think translates pretty well to the next level. Obviously there's going to be stuff I'm going to learn, and I'm super excited and eager to do that. But I think I have a really good foundation being from Alabama.
Bryce.
Christian Harris told me a story about him being part of the scout team. He also said the same thing, that they said it was hard to go up against you and you were on the scout team.
Out there it's always competition, and being able to go against the first defense so much at Alabama, I feel like that prepared me. At a young age, I was able to see so much from playing against Coach Saban's defense and playing against a bunch of great guys, including Sierras. So I think it was really beneficial for me, again, to be able to get reps, to be able to grow and learn and make mistakes, but challenge myself. And I think that's one of the beauties of going to Alabama.
Bryce.
Yeah, 100%. I've talked to a good amount of guys. I've tried to prepare myself as much as I can for the next level and for this process. Specifically, I was talking to Mac earlier this week, and he gave me a lot of great advice about, kind of just how to carry yourself. Things that he's learned in his years there. A lot of things that I'm going to take and hold on to, and I'm super grateful for the guidance I've gotten from him, on top of many other NFL players.
Bryce, how do you break down your skill set? There's 1,000 people that are trying to right now, but how do you do it? And what's the biggest misconception about your game?
That's a good question. For me, I feel like I'm someone who pushes myself and prides myself in my preparation and processing and leading the team and offense. And, you know, for me, I make sure that I do whatever I feel like is best for the team. I try to make efficient decisions. And again, after every time, whether it's run or pass, try to make sure that I'm doing and, you know, playing the most efficiently for the benefit of the team. And, you know, misconception-wise, to be honest, I don't really know too much that's out about me. I'm grateful for everyone's opinions and for the media for all the coverage and everything. But honestly, I'm not really like on social media that much. I'm not really watching too much about me. You know, I respect everyone's opinions, but you know, I focus on what I can control. So I take the advice and the direction of the people that I trust in my corner and people at the next level, and you know, that's kind of what I try to focus on.
Bryce, how much weight have you put on, and what do you expect to weigh this?
Yeah, you know, for me, I've been able to take this time to, you know, focus on being ready for the next level, focus on being a professional. And, you know, I've been around the 200-pound range, and for me, that's something that I think has been, you know, not too hard to do with being able to focus now on being a professional football player. You know, I'm excited for that.
Bryce, the shoulder injury, how much of a hindrance was it? How difficult was it just to play through and do all the side work on as well?
Yeah, you know, anytime you have to deal with adversity like that, it's tough. But, you know, I was blessed to be around the guys that I was. My teammates first who have pushed me and picked me up through all that. We have an amazing training staff that also was there, making sure I was getting better each and every day. And, you know, again, it's tough. I'm dealing with injuries. You know, it's hard to find people who haven't. And, you know, you can ask countless guys who have been able to fight through that. So I think we all kind of share that. But for me, just being able to play with my guys, be able to get back with my brothers, I think that was something that pushed me a lot through, you know, that process. And again, I was around a great group that picked me up while I was down. So, you know, luckily I'm fully back, and, you know, I'm excited for that next level.
Bryce, do you feel like you get bigger, or are you good at the 200-pound range?
Sorry, my bad. I got like 3.
How'd you put on the weight and how do you keep it on?
You know, for me, it was, again, just being able to train and you know, we had an amazing nutritionist, Miss Amy, I love, and a great nutrition staff. But, you know, obviously being in college, there's a little bit more, you know, you have school, of course, there's other stuff that, you know, you have to focus on. And for me, being able to make sure, we just put more stock in and making sure that I'm eating the right things, you know, making sure that my body's right, and just, you know, working out and being able to train and get ready for this.
Bryce, do you feel like Bama is QBU now? Where do you rank yourself amongst the quarterbacks in the NFL now?
You know, I'm being biased, but of course, you know, I feel like Bama is, you know, if you're a recruit, that's the best place to play. You know, that's 100% how I feel. I'm super grateful, you know, for making that decision. And, you know, I take a lot of pride in, you know, being an Alabama quarterback. And, you know, that was something I did when I committed there, when I got there, knowing the lineage that came, and, you know, being able to uphold that and do my best to push that forward, you know, that really meant a lot for me. Yeah, you know, really, I think it's my faith. You know, that's something that's been instilled in me, you know, from my parents at a very young age, and you know, that's something that guides all my actions, my decisions. You know, I'm a man of God, and for me, my faith, you know, fuels, you know, how I work, how I carry myself, and you know, I understand, you know, I do everything to, you know, to please the Lord, and you know, that's kind of just how I approach all aspects of my life.
Bryce, what would you say is the best part of your game?
You know, for me, I really pride myself in my leadership, and I know that that's something that I have to earn at the next level. You know, I'm really excited to get into the locker room, whatever team, you know, does take me, and to try to earn that trust and that respect from the locker room. Again, it's not something I'm entitled to, but it's something that, you know, at the next level, I'm excited to put the work in to try to earn that trust from my teammates. Yeah, you know, my meeting with the Texans was great. You know, I was super happy to be in that room. Again, it's an amazing staff, and you know, to be able to talk ball with them, you know, them ask me some questions, and me to learn more about them to learn more about me. It was a great environment, and you know, again, just being in that room, you know, I got a lot of wisdom, so I'm super grateful for it. For me, I trusted the people around me, that felt like it was the best decision for me. And like you said, going to Alabama was, it was an honor. It was a blessing. I take a lot of pride in it. And, I grew so much while being there. Personally, I felt like it was time for me to take the next step. But I'll forever be indebted to the university. I'm super grateful for my time there and what I learned.
Bryce, how far back?
Also, again, with the Bears as well, it was a great room to be a part of. We were able to talk ball, able to talk about, my last year. And again, it was a great staff, being able to learn about them, us go back and forth. It was an honor. So there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom in that room. And for me to be able to pick their brains as well and to learn so much that I did in that meeting was great.
One game to show off your tape to NFL teams would be what? The toughest defense in college.
I think one of the games that I'm proud of, and that we're all proud of is the Auburn game, especially my junior year. We pride ourselves at the University of Alabama so much in that game, in the Iron Bowl. That's something that's so big for us as a university, as a state, and for us to be resilient as a team in that last that game my sophomore year, and going into the overtimes as did, and for us to show that fight in a game that means so much to us. That's something that I'm extremely proud of. And
about the defense?
Yeah, and defense, Georgia was definitely a tough defense. And playing in the SEC, there's a lot of tough defenses. You see a lot, but Georgia was definitely a special defense.
What's the hardest part of your journey? The hardest thing you overcome to get to this point? People like to have been good for so long, but I guess it probably wasn't always like that.
Hardest part, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. There's been a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of adversity. But, for me, honestly, that's something I embrace and I enjoy. Things being tough, me going to the South, going to college away from home, being in new environments, being challenged each and every day by coaches and my teammates there. It's a lot that's of adversity, but again, that's what I embrace. I enjoy that. I feel like, those challenges, that's what equals out to growth. And for me, that's something I take pride in. So, even the downs and the struggles, at the end of the day, even throughout it, I know that it's only going to make me better.